Hey guys, Jedi here, and in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the elevated side jump. In this video, I'm going to be going over two different types of elevated side jumps. The first one is probably the one you clicked on this video to learn, which is the one where you're basically jumping out and you're facing in the direction you're jumping. It's a really useful, really common tactic that a lot of players use to get high ground really quickly. The second one is a little more situational, but I still think it's really useful to learn, so I'll tag it in at the end of the video. At this point, you guys should know what an elevated side jump looks like, so I'm going to proceed as if you do. So, to explain the basics of the move, the elevated side jump is when you're jumping past this cone right here and you're landing on a floor, like a normal side jump, but also on a ramp. While this may seem daunting at first, it's actually not that hard, but now I'm going to quickly address the few problems you might run into when you're trying out this move for yourself. The first one is really simple. You literally fail the whole jump by hitting yourself on the cone and simply falling off. The second one probably happens to you way more, and is probably why, once again, you're watching this video, is when you're jumping out, you're landing on this floor correctly, but the ramp is placing behind you and you're Harry Pottering yourself and not really doing the move right. So to address the first issue, I'm going to give you guys a quick tip right here. Basically, what a lot of people think is that they have to jump off from really high up on this ramp in order to get onto the ramp that they want to land on when you're doing the elevated side jump. But I'm here to tell you that you can actually make it onto the ramp by jumping off really low, like as low as right here where I'm standing right now. For reference, something that I used when I was learning this move was this nail right here on the wooden ramp. So I would jump from this space right here, right under this nail, and this guarantees that you can always make it past the cone, at least under the floor, and then from there you can work on landing on your ramp. Basically, you want to time your run up so that you're strafing over right into this space so that you can make it up. But now you're landing under your ramp. What are you gonna do? The most common reason why you're landing under your ramp is because you're not looking down enough. Now that might sound a little crazy, but I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. You see there that when I look down more, not only did I slow myself down, but I also gave my ramp a better opportunity to get under me. And what I mean by this is, when you slow down, you're basically putting yourself further back onto the wood ramp that you're landing on, right on the wood floor that you're landing on. The further you are along the wood floor, the more likely you are to face a ramp or end up under it. However, the more back you are on the wooden floor, the more likely you are to face onto the ramp or have the ramp simply placed right under you. I just want to clarify that I don't want you to be looking down the whole time. I want you to simply act as if it's a normal side jump, but the second you're about to land onto your floor and ramp, I want you to look straight down so that you can get yourself actually onto the ramp. Just like that. With those issues fixed, now I'm going to show you guys a drill that I used a lot when I was learning the move, and I find that it's really useful. This is a move that Booga used to do a lot in his retakes, but I think it stands alone as a drill that works pretty well. So what you're going to do is you're going to run up this ramp, and you want to keep the fundamentals that I just mentioned when you're practicing these, which is to jump from this space right here and to look down right as you do it. Except now you notice that I never placed a cone up here. So all you're going to do is you're going to jump out, drag two floor pieces like that, right? Connecting one here and then connecting that floor piece to this one and then placing a ramp. Now that sounds really simple, but it's actually perfectly mimicking the movement you want to have when you're doing the elevated side jump down to the very finish. Except now obviously there's no cone to jump from. This is simply a really good movement exercise and keybind exercise that I found was super effective. You'll also notice that if you can keep doing this consistently, it actually looks really smooth and really clean and actually makes for a really fun time to practice. Now I'm going to move on to the second type of elevated side jump. You'll notice that a common problem you're probably going to have right here is you're just not able to land on the ramp because the ramp is placing behind you or you're facing it. And the other common issue is, obviously, as is with every type of side jump, you're just not making it up at all. Now the trick with this side jump in particular is that a lot of people think it's really hard because you're supposed to land on a ramp that's facing in the same direction. But what a lot of people don't actually realize is that you can make it onto a floor off this cone from very, very low onto the ramp. You'll notice that in the previous tutorial on the last side jump, I was telling you guys to jump from here. Well, for this side jump, I actually want you guys to jump from even below this gap, right on these three wood planks. And you'll notice there that if you do it with just a floor, after you get the timing used to it, you can consistently make it onto this floor. And the most important thing about this is that you're making it onto the back quarter of this floor piece. The reason it's so important to make it onto the back quarter of the floor piece is because when you're facing a ramp that's going in the same direction, you actually have to be in a different position on the floor than a ramp if you were going in a different direction. What I mean by this is if you're not in this back area of this floor piece, when you land and you place a ramp in the same direction, mind you, you're going to end up phasing it or going under it. However, by landing in the back quarter or the back edge of this floor piece while looking in the same direction, you can always guarantee that when you place a ramp, you're going to be on the ramp. Now let's talk about a slight variation of this move. The main difference here is that the move feels a lot more supported and protected than the typical normal side jump that we were doing before. This is also obviously a lot more protective because you have this wall right here, and right after landing you can quickly drag walls up to protect yourself. The difference is with this move, I'm actually placing the wall first. You'll see that when I jump out here, I'm placing the wall and then following with the floor and then the ramp. This wall here connects, and then I place the floor and the ramp, and naturally this wall is going to drag over as well if you're turbo building. As with the last side jump, I now have a drill for you that is actually very similar that's going to help you practice your movement. Once again, remember when you're practicing this drill to remember the fundamentals that I was talking about, which for this move is to jump from these 3 wooden beams right here under this gap. And the drill looks something like this. You'll notice that this is a move that you can do repeatedly, and it's really simple. What you're going to do is when you're jumping out here, you're going to want to, as I mentioned in the last drill, this is again very similar. You're just going to drag the 2 floor pieces over and then land on this ramp. It's okay to overbuild some stuff. You'll see that sometimes I have ramps under, and that's okay. You're just learning the move. Once you start to get really good with this, you can start adding cones, and then you'll actually be doing the proper side jumps. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video on how to do the elevated side jumps. If you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to reward me with a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy any or all of my content. Don't forget to support me by using code JEDI2X in the Fortnite item shop. I would really appreciate it. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. Peace.